All right, 94.9 CHRW. My name is Brian Tong, and I'm the host of Underground Currents. And today I have Aaron Marshall of Intervals. How are you doing, man?
Not bad, dude. How you doing?
Doing absolutely fantastic. I actually just woke up, so this is a good wake-up call for me.
I'm not far behind you.
Yeah.
Circles.
Yeah. Before we talk about Intervals, I was actually wondering if you could talk about a little bit about Speak of the Devil.
Oh wow, nostalgia. Yeah, so that was my previous band before Intervals.
Yeah.
I think the last time I played London with that band was here at Moon Over Mare. It's not where we're playing tonight, but it was like my first like metal band with like my high school best friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a proggy 6-piece with keyboards and stuff like that. Definitely miss it a lot. Miss playing music with those guys and stuff, but some things changed and here we are. So.
Yeah, and you guys are doing pretty well yourself. You're on a tour right now with Structures, Texas in July, and North Lane. How has that been going so far?
Awesome. Tonight's number 6. We started in Halifax last Friday at the Pavilion, and I think the last 5 shows have been sold out.
Wow.
So everything's been...
That's awesome.
It's been really good. Yeah, tonight's going to be a banger too. Rum Runners is always a good time, so...
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, for this tour, you actually have Mike Semeski to play bass.
We do, yeah.
He's the ex-vocalist of the Harp Machine, right?
That's right.
So, what does he bring to this band right now in terms of live performances?
Right. Well, Mike's it's kind of a jack of all trades, I guess. I know of Mike for being a singer first and foremost. Big fan of his vocals on that record and stuff. First time I met Mike in person was at London. They were supporting the Faceless. He's also a Maryland boy as well. He's from Baltimore, and so is our drummer Anoop. So
yeah, we
were at NAMM in Anaheim, California at the end of January, and a bunch of us were chatting. Alex Rudinger, drummer from the Faceless, kind of put the bug in my ear, like, hey, I know you guys need a hand with some stuff coming up because we were parting ways with our bass player. You should hit up Mike. We just hit it off, and he's been helping us out, and super talented guy. He's killing it, man. He's got a lot of pocket. It feels really good to play with him every night. So
actually, just a little bit a more history for Intervals. How did you make this project come together, and how did you settle on the name Intervals?
Well, when I stopped playing music with my previous band, I didn't really have like a plan or anything like that, so it was kind of like I had some ideas kicking around, and I finished working on a tune, which was Still Winning, and had that demoed out and stuff, and I played it for some friends, and a buddy of mine kind of got the ball rolling, and he introduced me to Anoop at the same time that Anoop found me on 7string.org.
Oh, cool.
Which is funny because I'm banned from the site, which is that's a whole other
really?
That's a whole other, yeah, we won't go there. But yeah, so it kind of all happened like that at the same time. There was like a opportunity to do the band's first show with Periphery in Toronto.
Nice.
On their Frack the Gods headliner, and there wasn't a lot of material, and there was still missing band members and stuff, but it was just like an opportunity that I kind of wanted to go for, I guess. So a friend of mine had shot the video for Still Winning, which we didn't even really know what a playthrough video was at the time, and we just kind of slapped something together, and I guess it got a little bit of attention, and it looked like it could be a viable option for us. So all those things happened at the same time, and we decided let's go for it. So we wrote a few more songs, and we played our first show with the Periphery guys, and Contortionist and the Human Abstract.
That's a crazy lineup.
It was a really fun show. It was an awesome way to kind of start things. And it was never really a preconceived type of thing. It was just like,
just happened. Let's
go for it, and it's been fun to kind of hang on for the ride, and here we are. So
you're actually teaching people on this tour. You're with Band Happy, and you teach people along with your drummer. And what kind of students are you getting right now? And in terms of people that want to learn what they want to learn, and what do you teach?
Sure. This is the first tour I've actually been doing group lessons on. Normally I personally, like when I take a lesson, I like a one-on-one approach. But I figured because we only come through some of these places like maybe a handful of times a year, if that. I figured I'd open that up to 3 lessons per venue. So or 3 students, pardon me. So it's been good. Everyone kind of seems to be on the same page. The way I kind of like to conduct things is like we're all going to learn from each other. It's not just necessarily about me. I always learn when I teach too. It helps to illuminate things in my own playing. I have to describe things or use different analogies based on the student.
Yeah.
And they may have a want or a need that's separate from somebody else in the room, which could actually really help them because it might be an aspect of their playing they've never even considered before.
Oh, cool.
So it's fun to have like a small seminar and to have like that 4-way kind of thing, and you know, they can bounce topics off me, and you know, I'm by no means an expert when it comes to a lot of stuff, but at the same time it's good to kind of, you know, have to kind of sink my teeth into a couple of these topics or whatever it is, and it's been good. It's been a ton of fun, and I teach at home. You know, I use Band Happy online and stuff like that, and then it's way cooler to come out on tour and like actually hang out with a student and like really get down to it. So,
is there anyone that's really caught your eye in terms of teaching?
I have a student in Ottawa who I saw yesterday. He was part of a group lesson. Who he's a diehard. Like I see him every time we're out there and stuff.
Cool.
His name's Jake. He's great guitar player, and other than that, I have some students online, some kids in Europe that blow me away and stuff like that. But you know, I've only done a couple since we started. Again, we're just, you know, day 6 today, I think. So, but I have some more as we move across the country, and we'll see how it goes.
You guys have 2 EPs out, and I was wondering what's the difference between In Time and the space between. How have you guys grown from your first EP to the one now?
Well, the space between was our first release. It was like a collection of songs that I was working on at the time, and you know, a couple of them were like, oh man, we got this show offer and like some other opportunities, like I gotta squeeze some music out, you know, and it's not usually the way I do things, but they were things that I had recorded at the time or some ideas or whatever, and we went forward with those. We decided that we'd put out a 5-track EP to start, and we weren't sure whether or not the band was going to have a vocalist or not. So if anyone kind of has heard In Time first and gone back to the space between, they may notice that there's a little bit more space, just room left for the potential of maybe having a singer, which was, you know, again, the band was not like a preconceived thing, like I'm gonna make an instrumental band. You know, I love instrumental music, but that wasn't the way it was supposed to be necessarily. So that would be the main difference. In Time was more of a, you know, I really tried to just make sure I could fill in the room where, you know, at that point we hadn't decided to have a vocalist. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do my best to make, you know, my guitar melodies or however I saw fit to be the focal point or to be the vocal. So I think that's a little bit more apparent, and it's also the mediator between what's coming next or what we're going to, you know, shoot for on our record. So yeah, that's the main differences.
You guys actually shot a music video for Epiphany. I must say that video actually blows my mind in terms of visual effects, all this cool stuff. Ben Dundas actually worked on this, right? So how was working with him on this video?
Ben's awesome. He's like one of my best friends, and I know him through the other guitar player in my previous band. They went to high school together, or maybe I have that wrong. Maybe it was elementary school. But I know Ben through my good friend David, and Ben's the reason that, you know, we shot the Still Winning video, and like any of that stuff kind of started. He kind of pushed me in the deep end a little bit, and you know, I have a lot to owe to Ben, and like he did such a stellar job conceptualizing, directing, and editing the Epiphany video, and he's just like such a good friend of all of ours, and you know, I don't do any other video work with anyone else. Like, he's just totally my dude. So cool. Yeah, he's great. Utmost professional guy. Like, if you're an Ontario band or a GTA band or whatever, and you need video work, Ben Dundas, hit him up.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked out the music video, and if you want to go check out Intervals, I think that's a very good starting point to go for. And only a couple more questions left. This is something I actually want to ask kind of almost every instrumental metal band. How do you name your music?
It's kind of like a vibe thing or whatever. I kind of like, I let the music dictate where it wants to be, and then I name it appropriately based on the feeling I get from it. So like, give you an example. The second track on our new EP, Matahari, or our current EP, the Mata Hari reference is actually a war reference, and without getting too in depth, like she was basically a female escort who conspired with both German and French soldiers, and she was assassinated as a spy.
Oh, cool.
And that has nothing to do with the song. There's an old Japanese pinball machine named Mata Hari, and the visual aesthetic on the pinball machine, if you Google it, it's ridiculous. Some Hitler-looking dude and like a classy-looking, you know, kind of woman on there, and there's like a tiger and all this wild like war stuff going on.
Nice.
On the actual, right? So the reason I got there was the song gave me the vibe of like pinball. So I'm all over the place here.
Yeah.
So you try and follow me. So I got this like the, you know, multiple motifs in the song. It's got a really bouncy kind of rhythm to it. So I like did a little research about pinball machines, and I came across the term Mata Hari, and I liked the history.
Wow, okay.
Based on the name of the pinball machine, there's actually this war reference and stuff. It was so deep, and it takes so long to explain it, like I just did, that it's a cool song title. So I went for it.
Wow, that's
so
fantastic.
That's kind of how I come up with that type of stuff.
That's awesome. And I'm gonna do my best Michael Landsberg impersonation right now. But true or false? You used to work at Steve's Music, and you actually got to use their equipment for your previous bands.
I did work there, so you've done your homework. Probably borrowed some stuff, or you know, they've been really good. Actually, the drum set we're using on this tour, I acquired there. You know, I play drums as well. I bought a Pearl set a long time ago, and Anoop's been beating it up on this tour and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you know, working at a music store is kind of beneficial like that, or whatever. I mean, they were really good to me. I was there for 3 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's probably your best job ever?
My favorite job, my most tolerable job. I was at like the beer store before that, and I worked at like NHMV, and I worked at like the lumber department of a Home Depot, and like,
wow.
Oh yeah, you know, not glorious for a starving musician, but yeah, Steve's was really good to me for about 3 years, and we parted ways because of, you know, a touring schedule and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much it, actually. Thank you so much for doing this interview.
No worries.
And yeah, so Intervals, they have 2 EPs available, In Time and the Space Between. Yeah, The Space Between. They're both on a name your price basis on Bandcamp, so definitely go check it out. If you go on tour, if you go to see a show with them on tour, you can grab a physical copy of In Time as well. For how much?
We're doing them for $5 at the merch table.
That's
and
quite the
got
deal.
A really nice beard, so show up, scratch his beard, buy an EP, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much once again.
No worries.
That was Aaron Marshall for Intervals, and I'm your host Brian Tong for Underground Currents, and I'll see you guys soon.